So I want to show you something interesting when you want to build a module. You always need to do something that you need often a database and a module that you can find somewhere. We spoke last time about NSA Quick Start, and I forked it to make something useful for the community, even for me. Actually, often we need a pod inside that we can use some containers, also, for example, MariaDB, and an application, a container. In the pod, like you can see, we can share among the localhost with a TCP port. So we open only one port, here, the 80, HTTP, and we use traffic only to make the reverse proxy between the FQDN that comes from the World Wide Web and the container. So this is what we are going to do. For me, the first things you have to think when you want to make a module is the idea. What you want to do. This is maybe the hardest part. Then you can go to the Docker Hub. We will see what we can find on it. And we will fire NSA Quick Start MariaDB. Then we need to go to VS Code because we have something to do. What NSA Quick Start MariaDB can do for you, we can configure the virtual host, we can make Let's Encrypt certificate workable, we can force HTTP to HTTPS, we have a database already configured, we have a backup, the backup are normally workable, we can do the backup of volume, everything should be workable too. And I put it inside some example of to make some custom settings if you need, because sometimes we need some templates, even for good developers. So this is what we do. Something interesting on the Docker Hub to understand. When you want to choose a container, think a bit about popularity. Sometimes it is a good level of understanding of the project if you can see that there is a lot of people want it. So here we can see that we have 5,500 stars and maybe 1 billion of download. So we can say this is a good project. And we can see a lot of tags. What are tags? We will see it just for the next slide. It is all different version you have of the container. First, we need to speak a bit about what is a container. It is just a Linux machine, virtual machine, with a specialized task. We have a lot of things inside. Most of the time, we use Debian and Alpine, most of the time. Ubuntu sometimes too, because of the life cycle time that you can use for your container. But Rocky, for example, is not really used. You don't find a lot of RPM as a containers base. I don't know really why, but it is a fact. When you look inside the container and you have chosen your project, you can see there is a lot of version possible, sometimes more than 100, I don't know. You have a task search, so you can find, and you can see that you can sort by the ID. The ID here is here to help you to understand that it is the same image, even if the name is different. And on the right left, you have the URL of the image you have to catch to make the things workable. What to say? Something important. A container, you have to interact with the container. You have to speak to the container. We can do the old web, mount a configuration file, but it is quite complicated. Sometimes we need templates to override the settings. The easy way is the variables. So we have to mount to the containers variables with a setting that the container is expecting it. And so for us, it is really quite easy to set the parameters of the container. Here we can see that WordPress is waiting database host, database user, database password, database name, etc. So everything for us is there. We need, of course, to read the documentation because this is your job of developers, but we can ease your job. Practical exercise. So, first things to do, I think, you go to the, I will come to show you. Oops, sorry. So there, first thing to do is just to come to my repository. We can share to put it on NethServer, of course. You can do create a new repository. Okay. So we just have to name it here WordPress. Why not? Since we want to do a WordPress, you can do a create repository. Then, once it is done, we can do this. Up, let's go. Sorry, we can just copy the URL because we have to do. We can go here and do git clone. Sorry, wait. Yeah. No, sorry. This was not expected. Sorry. So we can clone it. Okay. Now we have something to do. The first thing to do is to rename some something inside that is you can catch here. Sorry, where is my? Okay, you can find it in the README. Okay, so everything is there. Okay, and hopefully you can do it here. Okay, then we can start to okay, I hope you can read it. Maybe we can do some something. We have two things to do. We have more things to do, but here we have something important. We need to set the image of the container because we take it on the here and we need to modify here. Okay. Because we want to set the correct URL of the container we want. Then we have still something to do here. Like you can see, we have now the WordPress here because we did a sed. And this is what we have to do. Like you can see, we have MariaDB. This is the static. This is a static thing I put, but we have to adapt it. So now, and we put here. Okay, so this is good. So now we should do something more. It is here. We need to save it. This is a trick. The core rename the name of the image. So now we have to do this. Okay, so this is good. Last thing to do now, it is to do a git commit, because, sorry, we are here. Okay, I forgot to do something. Initial, and we push to the repository. So here the build will start. Something to set to explain a bit.